The second part of my plan was to start hanging around non-metal musicians. I wasn't turning my back on metal or anything like that. I was broadening my horizons and exploring all the options I could find. Two things became apparent pretty fast. One, non-metal bands had bigger crowds, and two, they had a lot of beautiful women at their shows. I found this fascinating and not in a misogynistic kind of way. Don't get all upset with me, read this through. A room full of beautiful women brings what? Men. And what do men do around beautiful women? They act like jackasses that have to impress the women. How do they do it? By spending money. That's right, guys spend money on food, drinks, and whatever else they need to if it means they can hang out with a woman they're interested in. I'm a guy, so I kind of know what I'm talking about, and all guys have done this at some point. I found it fascinating because for the most part, the band seemed to know it. Take a band full of guys, especially good-looking guys, dress them well and present them in a way that doesn't take other musicians to get the art of what they're playing, and what comes out? A band that makes money. That was a new and appealing side of music that I hadn't seen yet. All the other stuff I'd done and the two moderately successful bands I was in had one thing in common. None of it had really made any money. We had respect from peers, loyal fans, and a good product, so I'm not belittling what we did. But if we did make any money, it went back into the band as it should have. A business has to be fed in order for it to grow. The money that we made was so low that when it went back into the band, there was nothing left. We ordered shirts, sold them, and took the money made from the sales to order more shirts. We didn't pay ourselves back the initial money we put up out of our pocket, we just kept feeding the machine. Those bands were doing that only on a higher level, and they were paying themselves, so they were making money, looked great, and had pro-level gear. None of them looked like garage bands per se. They were playing mostly originals with covers thrown in, like a 75% original, 25% covers type of split. Most of the covers being played were tweaked a little to fit the style of whatever the band was. I was not only impressed and intimidated, I knew I had to get in with those bands and start playing. In the midst of discovering this new world and all the network I was doing, I met a guy named Tucker. Tucker was a big guy and played guitar like a monster, which was fitting given his size, and he was a super nice dude as well. Tucker's parents owned a mechanic shop that had a long, empty garage attached to the main garage where the business was. 4 or 5 cars could fit the length of it, and probably 2.5 cars wide. Tucker and I hung out for a while and talked about starting a band together, and with that, I moved out of my shed and into Tucker's garage. We never really got that far, as he wanted to play more of the Dream Theater style music, and I was headed in a different direction. He and I would jam together a few times a month to keep some sort of playing between us, and then he heard through a friend of a peer of a dude from a guy with a... Wait, what was I babbling about? There was a popular band in town looking for a drummer. Just like the Creative Loafing in Charlotte, Columbia had a free paper called the Free Times. I had searched through several issues of that paper in the musician classifieds and made a lot of connections, but nothing that produced any real results. Tucker told me about the drum chair being open for a band called S-Tribe. I had seen their name around Columbia and maybe even saw them once, so I knew enough about them to know that they were pretty popular. They had just released a full-length record entitled Rise People. All the stuff I had recorded had been EPs, and they had a full-length record, so I was definitely interested. I got in touch with the guys through Tucker's friends and set up a meeting. The guitarist, the singer, and their manager met me at a venue called Sundance in the Vista. I had seen a few bands there, and I really liked the place, so it seemed like a good spot to meet. We talked about things we had done musically and what they were looking for in a drummer and what their situation was. They gave me a copy of their record and set up an audition for a couple weeks later, as they had some guys in front of me. Man, did I have some learning to do. S-Tribe's situation was interesting because truth is usually stranger than fiction. The band was made up of 5 killer musicians: Gabe on vocals and acoustic guitar, Charles on guitar, Corey on guitar, Corey on bass, the Coreys, no, I'm not making that up, and Larry on drums. Gabe, Larry, and Charles had been friends for years, as in could have been brothers kind of friends. So close that Larry started dating Gabe's sister even before they had started S-Tribe. They put the band together, got the Coreys, and worked their asses off writing some beautiful music. They booked some shows, got a manager, gained a following, and recorded an album. During this time, Larry asked Gabe's sister to marry him, and she of course said yes. Gabe and his family were from Texas, and his sister longed to move back there. Shortly after her and Larry were married, the decision to move to Texas was made, so S-Tribe had to start looking for a drummer. Shorter version: the singer's sister was married to the drummer and they were moving out of state. See? A little interesting, ain't it? Everything I had done prior had been metal, and S-Tribe was anything but that. There were many influences that made up their sound. Gabe, being from Texas, had Native American and Latin roots, so that was in there. Charles was a trained and well-versed guitarist, and his influence was a lot of funk, soul, and classic rock. Guitar Corey was a jazz guy, so he brought a lot of jazz-type chords as well as really interesting effects. Bass Corey was just a monster player who stomped his right foot so hard you could hear it on the floor of whatever stage they were playing on, and he had a deep music knowledge. Larry was a very good rock drummer, and he brought that kind of energy to the band. All that thrown together gave S-Tribe a unique sound with a nice pop sensibility. That was like another dimension for me, and I essentially had to relearn how to play drums. I remember being overly nervous for 2 weeks leading up to my audition, worse than the prom girl nervous. I was nervous about Warmouth, but at least it was metal, so it was familiar. S-Tribe's music was something I had never even attempted to play. I kept my rig in Tucker's garage, and I was in there almost every day learning that record, and he was gracious enough to put up with it. They had a show sometime during my learning phase, and I had to go, which made my nervousness even worse. I felt like the guy that lied about passing the bar exam and was about to try my first case in open court. I knew for certain that once again, I was in over my head. Sundance had become one of my favorite places to see a show. The vista was set up like a small grid, so the streets were a little wider than half a city block, and a lot of buildings were accessible from both sides. Some of the buildings were old train stations and had been refurbished, including the one Sundance was in. It's a nice area if you've never been there. You should go, but not now though, I'm telling you stories. The main entrance of Sundance was a large deck patio with seating to the left of the entry door. Once in the door, the stage is immediately on the right, about 5 feet from the entrance. In front of the stage was the rest of the place, with an open floor that led to the bar, which was in the middle of the room. To the left of the stage was a step-up section with some tables that led to another small bar for servicing the outside. To the right of the stage, there were more tables and a door to the other deck. It was a nice place, and at the time it stayed packed, especially when bands like S-Tribe were playing. I remember squeezing rather, in there and being floored by the amount of people there to watch the band, not just people hanging out at a bar, and man was S-Tribe on fire that night. I made my presence known and went and stood at the back of the room and just took it all in. They tore through their set with every ounce of passion and conviction they could muster, and it showed. I remember leaving before they were done because I wanted to hide my nervous excitement. They were kind of a big deal, and Columbia at the time was overflowing with super talented bands and artists. It was an awesome place to be musically in the early 2000s. I went back to the garage and worked even harder than before. I wanted that gig, and I was going to make damn sure I knew that record backwards, forwards, and sideways. It was one of the hardest things I'd ever done musically because there was such a learning curve for me. I was a hard-hitting metal drummer trying to get the drum chair for a Latin funk pop band. I should have had my damn head examined. But it was part of my plan. I wanted to play different music other than metal. I don't want to say Warmouth scarred me, but it did leave me with a bad rash, and I wanted to try something different. S-Tribe was about as different of an ointment as I could get without a prescription.
The Barstar Podcast is a show that aims for something a little different. It's hosted by a drummer who thinks he's a musician. But let's be honest, I know and you know that drummers are not musicians, right? Or are they? Hang on a second, who wrote this crap? This is garbage. Nobody's gonna listen to a show put on by somebody they haven't heard of. Stupid crap.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of the Barstar Podcast. I am your host, Stephen O'Reilly. I want to thank you guys for taking the time out to come back and hang out with me once again. Thank you for downloading the show. Thank you for subscribing, for rating it, and reviewing it. And if you haven't done those three things, you need to get on that. I hope everybody had a good week. I hope everybody is doing well. And as always, I hope you guys went out and did some shit. Please make sure you check out my sponsor, Prophecy Inc., located in the lovely Highlands in Louisville, Kentucky. Go into the shop, look around, look at all the cool shit in there, mention the Barstar Podcast, and you will get 10% off your tattoo by any artist in the shop. This week's episode's really cool. I got to hang out with my buddy Charles Funk. Yes, that's his real name. I got to hang out with my buddy Charles, who I haven't seen in about 15 years. As with PJ, yes, we stay in touch and all that kind of stuff, but we haven't seen each other in about 15 years, and it was awesome. Most of you know, Stacy and I went on vacation. We went to Charleston. First, we went to New York City. I can't wait to go back. But when we were in Charleston, I told Stacy, I said, well, we got to ride up to Columbia, South Carolina, which is about an hour and a half away, and we got to go hang out with Charles because I need to see him. And selfishly, I wanted to have him on the show because I thought you guys would enjoy it. So that's what this episode is. It's me hanging out in Charles's living room. We talked about all kinds of shit. It's kind of cool for me to go back and talk to people that were there. The beginning of this episode, obviously you figured out I was doing a reading from the book. That's what I wrote about S-Tribe. There's obviously more stuff before it, more stuff after it. But after talking to Charles and reading what I wrote about S-Tribe, it was kind of cool that I wasn't really that far off. I guess I should stop saying my memory sucks. Maybe I should be more positive. Oh my God, be more positive. My timeline memory really does suck, but I was pretty close, which you'll start to put some things together from the reading I did at the beginning of this episode, and then when you're listening to Charles and I have our conversation. But it's really cool, and it's an awesome problem to have that I've done so much stuff I can't keep it all straight. But anyway, enough about that. Charles has done some amazing things in his life. He's got what I call a big boy job. He's got a cool career. He has took life by the horns and kicked its ass. I forgot to ask him about playing with Montgomery Gentry, actually in the band, not opening for them, and the band that he toured with a few years ago, which may have been the same band. I dropped the ball. It's completely my fault. But that's okay, because we talk about some really cool stuff, and Charles knows how to get a hold of me in the Facebook page. And if you really want to know, you need to go to his Facebook page and check out his stuff. He's got some awesome stuff. He's involved with some cool projects. One of his main projects is called the Black Iron Gathering, which is such a fucking cool name. So make sure you check out his page, check out all his stuff. And enough of me rambling. Let's get to my hang with my buddy, Charles Funk.
I miss you, dude.
Oh, that was perfect. I hit record right when you said that.
Get the sentimental moments.
Yes, the sentimental moments. All right, so what's up, brother? How are you?
My man, what's good?
Oh, yeah, we got to do a high five in the microphone first. That was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
What's going on, man?
Oh, doing it, man. How long has it been?
That's what I was trying to, well, obviously Stacy doesn't know. Stacy's in the room, guys. She actually did talk today.
Hey, Stacy.
Some days she won't talk to me. I was trying to figure it out with her because she's way smarter. I'm totally married up. But I think I have not been back here since 2003. That's when I left.
All right, so if you take the 2018, subtract 3 from the 8.
You get 15.
15.
It's been 15 years.
So it's been 15 years.
You maffed. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, man.
You so maffed.
Oh, dude, we just worked some thousands.
Yeah, we did. That shit was hard. And you got a big boy job, so I know you're smarter than me. Don't even fuck with me on this.
We can talk about the Bernoulli equation and fun stuff like that.
No, because then I'll go to sleep because I'll lose brain cells because I'm dumb. I just play drums. So I am finally in front of my buddy, Charles Funk.
Yeah, you are.
And it's amazing. It is amazing. You look fucking great, by the way.
Thanks, man.
Oh, my God, you're so cute.
No,
you look really good.
It just got awkward.
That's the whole point of my show is to make it awkward. That's what I do. You've listened to enough of them.
True story.
I'll make them awkward. So you are still playing.
Oh yeah, I get it. I play anytime I get a chance.
Nice. So let's go back in history.
All right.
When did you and I meet? Was it 99 or 2000? Because history-wise, as far as us playing together and all the shit we did, was a very short window of time.
Well, I would want to say that it would probably have been either the end of 99 or somewhere like in mid 2000 or whatever, because I remember doing the 1999 show at Monterey Jack's, and it was a different drummer.
That was probably Larry.
I think so.
Had to be. Yeah, because that's who I replaced was Larry.
Yeah. And then, enter the new millennium. You're a millennium drummer.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think it's good.
Millennium drummer?
Yeah, no, well, not millennial drummer.
Oh no, too fucking old to be a millennial.
Millennium drummer.
Millennium.
Apparently, Millennium Falcon.
I thought you said linoleum.
The Linoleum Falcon. Or the Millennium Fuck'em.
I like the millennium fuck'em. That's pretty good.
I think it's pretty good, too.
Okay, so I've talked about it on an episode or two before. The intro music after Dude throws me under the bus every week, which is fantastic, is Us.
Yep.
That is a song called Solid Stoned.
It is.
On the 3-song demo we recorded.
I like to use the word EP. Demo sounds so start-outy, you know.
All right, fair enough. We'll use EP.
I mean,
But it was, S-Tribe did have a full-length record called Rise People.
yeah. It
Which-
was full length.
Yeah, which I learned. That's what I learned. I learned that whole record to do the audition, which I remember we were just talking about before I hit record. Was we had that meeting at Sundance, and I actually wrote about it in the book. We had that meeting at Sundance. It was you, Charles Wilkie, and myself.
God damn, we had a meeting?
We did.
Well, what the hell? What, were we trying to be professional? Like,
You were trying. I mean, you had it together for a minute
I mean, damn, we had a meeting.
with a manager.
That too. I completely, in my mind, I'm glad you like have a good memory because like in my mind, like we met at like a storage unit. I was like, hey man, how's it going? Let's play. It's way more. It's like way more grandiose than that. We actually had a meeting. Did we bring notebook paper to write on or anything?
Probably. I'm sure Charles did. He was always writing notes.
Yeah.
But I answered an ad. You guys have put an ad out.
I put the ad out.
Oh, you put the ad out.
Look, man.
That is Wallace, by the way. Wallace is making an appearance before Sebastian did.
Hey, buddy.
He's awesome. I like him. Anyway,
Yeah.
you put the ad out,
Yes.
and I answered it.
Yes, you did.
And it was funny because it was the whole metal drummer thing.
Right.
Because that's the world I came from.
We had a slew of different like drummers, man. You know, because I was like the screener. You know, every band has their guy who kind of does like all the behind the scenes shit. You know,
Right.
So getting the new drummer
What fell on you?
and screening them and all that. It was my job to be like, all right, I got the rehearsal place that we're going to use this time. It's not in Gilbert or Gaston or Elgin or wherever the hell we would end up with some of these weirdos. Because I mean, there's a couple of guys like before you know, like you're like, yeah, I was the metal drummer. Like, man, you should have seen the like the Skinner drummers, man. The freaking, you know, we had some characters, dude.
Oh, I can imagine. Well,
Yeah.
and at that time, I mean, Columbia, South Carolina, for those of you that are not here, was, I hate to be old manish, but it was fucking hopping. There were bands everywhere.
I was killing, dude.
Yeah, it was a great scene here. It was an amazing scene here. I tell people all the time in Louisville, and I wrote about it in the book, Columbia's where I cut my musical teeth. I had done some shit, obviously, before I got here, but I didn't do anything on any kind of upper level till I got here with S-Tribe, which is where you come in.
Yeah, because we were able to like self-propel to like a multi-regional level, which was, you know, hard as hell to do.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's even harder now, but it was hard as shit back then because there was no social media back
You
then.
didn't have any of that. You printed out your own flyers and had to go out like as a band and stick them under like windshield wipers and
Yep.
listen to people going, "Hey, that's littering, man. What the hell?" You know, or whatever. Don't put that shit on my car. You know, and like,
And then the sensitivity Viper alarms.
yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, which car is yours? Give this asshole 10. You know?
Yeah, that douchebag deserves 10.
Yeah.
I remember, if my memory serves me, I think I remember, I did the audition, and we pretty much did the whole record.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
think so.
I don't really recall having to start and stop for any kind of like, okay, this guy didn't, you know, he only listened to half the song, thought he was going to 4/4 his way through.
Yeah, because that music, I couldn't do that. That shit
No.
was kind of complicated.
Man, because we wrote, dog.
Man, we wrote that shit.
Yeah, we like composed, man.
We were writers.
You know,
Wallace, you're the shit. I love you.
What's
Come
up,
here,
buddy?
Dude. Come here, dude.
it's pause
whatever.
for the cat.
No way. Never pause for the cat. You just keep going.
Yeah.
Sebastian showed up on my show a few times already. But we did if I'm not mistaken, you had to audition, I don't know, 20 more people after me.
Well, I think it was a formality.
Of course.
Like, yeah, okay, well, we'll try a couple different guys. Maybe the word due diligence seems to come to mind.
Right.
Anyway.
And then eventually you and Gabe both called me at the same time.
Wait, like on three-way? Or?
Yeah. I don't know why I remember that. I just remember that.
Like we had a party line or something?
Yeah, you had like the S-Tribe party line.
No kidding. Back when we were probably paying bills to AT&T or something.
On a landline, yes, because I remember I was on my cordless landline.
Hey, man, stay quiet. I'm going to call Stephen, all right? You just listen. I don't remember that conversation either.
I don't remember the conversation. I just remember it was a three-way call.
How about that?
Yeah, it was fucking weird. Not gonna lie to you, it was weird. But you offered me the spot.
Were we like a couple 20-somethings trying to like teleconference?
Probably.
What are we doing here? We had a manager, notebook, paper.
Oh yeah.
Teleconferences.
Well, in my first show, the irony of the whole fucking situation was my first show was S-Tribe's CD release show.
Man, talk about like putting a valiant effort towards a release and then virtually everything like goes wrong,
Well, we'll talk about that part in a second, but at that CD release show, Larry came up and sang a song with us because he didn't leave on bad terms.
Nope.
He married our singer's sister.
Well, that was a shitstorm in the beginning.
Well, yeah, because he was moving to Texas.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't live in Texas anymore now. He lives in Columbia again.
Yeah.
Which is where I am. He was in Louisville 2 weeks ago.
Get out of town. What was he doing there?
He works for Maker's Mark.
Oh,
Or some bourbon place.
Right.
And he was up in Louisville. And he posted something on Instagram and I messaged him and he said, dude, I didn't even fucking know you live in Louisville. I'm like, yeah, I've been here 11 years.
Somebody's not in somebody's algorithm.
Somebody ain't paying attention.
You need to like some more pictures, dog.
Mm-hmm. I just did some stuff on the algorithm too. Listen, people. Pay attention to the algorithm.
It's a simple like and a comment.
You just gotta like and follow some shit, and your stuff will show up. It's not that hard. Anyway, but yeah. So when I called you, we were talking the other day, and you wanted to talk about the curtain.
The curtain. Damn it all! Like you put all this effort into.
It was a great idea.
A self-release, CD effort and all that, which by the way, we needed jewel cases. We ended up with these like envelopes with a damn sticker on it because the CD turnaround, the company, somehow they messed up the turnaround on the CDs. They're like, well, we'll send you guys some like...
Oh no, that's the second one. We did 2.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we did 2. And the only reason I know that is because I have the EP. I have the EP. Yes. I have the
anything
EP.
about this band that I actually know like that?
You want me to tell you the truth or just edit it out?
No.
You partook a lot back in the day.
True story. True story. Hey, man, look. I wore a lot of hats. And it was stressful. So, like, what happens in my living room,
Stays in your living room.
Yeah.
And we're in your living room, which is a
we
nice
are.
living room, by the way.
Right.
It's a very nice living room.
Full circle.
It is full circle. It's weird.
Yeah.
But, so, the first CD release party, we were going to do these curtains. We had these curtains that we put up at Sundance.
We built our own curtain system.
We did, and we were going to backlight it so all you could see is silhouettes, and you pull the curtains open, and we're there.
Right.
Boom, it was going to be awesome. Curtains malfunctioned to a full fucking room. You couldn't get another person in that room with a shoehorn.
Dude, it was a full house. We had some guys that were supposed to pull the curtains on the side on a certain part of the song, and you would think that like your best buds knew your music, knew your shit, knew your cues well enough. So, hey, on the part that goes curtain, you know what I mean?
And then only one side of the curtain came open.
Right. The other one's like tug. Quite possibly I may or may not have like rushed a guitar intro lick to something. Anyway.
It was a disaster.
It was like some Benny Hill shit, man.
It was combination of Benny Hill and Spinal Tap.
Yeah, like you may as well have had bunch of long haired dudes looking at each other like, I don't know, man.
What happened?
Fucking curtain fucked up.
But we ended up killing it. We sold a lot of records. But it was just weird because that was my first show was the full length CD release show.
Yeah.
And then we started gigging, And then I moved us into a bigger rehearsal spot because the rehearsal spot you guys had sucked.
Yeah, totally.
It was barely big enough to hold my rig. And I wasn't using that big of a rig. It was big, but it wasn't that damn big. So we moved over to Tucker's Garage.
Tucker's Garage.
That was the
That
coolest.
sounds like a damn Deep Purple record.
I know. And it was the coolest garage ever. And it was huge. We could pull 2 cars in there full and load our shit in.
Yep.
It was awesome.
And you had a massive porn collection.
I did. Actually, it was mine and Tucker's.
Dude.
I was married at the time to my ex-wife who didn't put out. I needed something.
Understood. I get it. Understood.
I love you, woman. I don't have that problem now. As she shakes her head. Nope.
It just got awkward in my living room.
That's what I do, man. That's my job. But we built a stage out of pallets on the other side of it. Or on the one end of it. Because it was long. It was like, I think 3 or 4 car lengths long.
And that is what started Pinterest fucking pallet furniture.
Our practice spot.
Yeah.
I love it. Wait.
Was it wobbly and stuff? Like,
I don't think so, but I'm just trying to go back. I wonder if Pinterest owes us money.
yeah, they do.
Ooh.
If you're ever asked if Pinterest owes you money,
The answer is yes.
Right.
Fine. Woman, are you taking notes? Pinterest owes us money. We did pallet furniture before anybody else did.
Dude, if a demigod ever asks you if you're a god, you say yes. We saw what happened when Gozer, the Valerian, asked the Ghostbusters, "Are you a god?"
No.
Yeah, and then die. Yeah,
Yeah,
they
you're
almost
toast.
got thrown off the side of a building.
That's true. We saw that building. We were in New York City. We saw the Chrysler building.
Is that okay? Cool.
I think it was a Chrysler building. The movie came out a long time ago.
Right on. Yeah, it did.
So anyway, back to the rehearsal spot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember where it is? Because I don't have a fucking clue.
Yeah. It's down. It's down 2 notch. Maybe like a couple blocks from Richland County Sheriff's Department.
2 Notch Road. That rings it. Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
Like trash level hookers and stuff that way.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you want to go to 2 Notch, honey? They have hookers over there.
I think they have the bad kind.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
Not the fun kind.
Yeah, I think they got the real bad kind.
But from the CD release party, we started booking a shit ton of shows.
Yeah, it got busy.
It got real busy, and we stayed busy. And then we recorded a 3-song EP with me, and that was the second release show.
And that was with Jimmy, the bass player.
Yes, because Corey... Did Corey play on that? Corey played on the EP, and then he left shortly thereafter.
Yeah.
Because he decided he was going to go to school. Or go back to school full time.
Yep.
So Jimmy did the same thing that I did. We released the EP, but he didn't play on the EP, but he played the CD release. We did a lot of shit backwards back then.
Yeah, we did.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know. Who was running this shit back then?
You just said you were, so
No,
it's your fault.
I did a lot of behind the scenes things.
So it's that other dude's fault.
Whoever that was.
Hi, Gabe. How are you, buddy?
Oh, Jesus.
We'll throw Gabe under the bus. He's not here to defend himself.
True story.
I like it. When you're not here to defend yourself, you get thrown under the bus.
Yeah, you got to show up to the race if you want to run it.
I mean, I throw myself under the bus every episode. I'm not worried about it.
Dude, do you remember when Corey and Corey almost fought each other at rehearsal?
Yes, I do. For those of you that don't know, and you wouldn't know this in my Louisville people, we did have Corey and Corey in the band. And their names were very similar. It was Corey Munson and Corey Jansen.
Yeah.
Straight true story. Stacy just shot me the shocked look. It was true story. But I don't remember what they were fighting about. But they were about to get into it because you had to pull them apart.
I can't remember if it was like music related or like music. I already said that, musical. Was it a woman? No.
It had to be one of 3 things in our situation.
But those guys would have fought over like who ate too much cereal or something at a spend the night party. Like those guys didn't fight over your usual stuff, man. Like, oh, dude,
true.
man, I liked her, dude. Why'd you let her do that to you? Or something, you know? Instead, it was like,
They did fight over dumb shit.
yeah, like, you keep beating me at Uno. You know, like, silly shit, you know?
You can't be. I'm a better Uno player.
No,
than
it
you.
wasn't Corey and Corey. It was Corey and Gabe. That's who it was. No wonder it doesn't ring a bell.
Which Corey?
Corey Munson and Gabe.
Oh, they always fought.
Right,
though.
but they almost actually fought. Corey and Corey never actually had a fight with each other.
Oh, you are correct, sir.
Yeah, it was musical.
And yep. I remember now. I remember how it started.
Yeah.
Anybody know the rest of that? No, you're right. I do remember that now. We were
It was
both
like, guys, you got to break it up. You go over there, grab the September issue. You go over there and grab December. Go to separate bathrooms. Knock one out. Get yourself tuned back up.
Come back out with a fresh head.
Hit this bowl. We'll play some songs. We got stuff to do. We got shows to play.
We do got some shows to play. I have a question for you. Because we were very fortunate. Granted, we worked our ass off as a band, but we were very fortunate. Do you remember who the band we opened up for in Charlottesville, Virginia?
Charlottesville, Virginia.
We played that amphitheater, and it was fucking packed.
Was it Sweetwater? Stillwater?
Even if you said it, I don't know. So that's why I'm
Something
asking
where-
you if you remember.
But they had a really cool, like, 70s tour bus or something like that.
Yeah, they were really cool people. And we all went up there because from Charlottesville, we went to Hilton Head.
Yeah.
But I just...
Who the hell routed that?
Charles Wookie.
Thanks, bud.
Good job, dude.
All in a weekend.
Yeah, but we ended up... 3 of us ended up staying in Hilton Head extra. We all called in work.
That's not a shocker.
No, it's not. Because we were in that round house on stilts. Remember? House was round.
Wait, that was in... That was in the Outer Banks.
It wasn't Hilton Head. It was the Outer Banks.
The Outer Banks.
But the house was round on stilts, right?
Yeah, but not
Okay, I got
Hilton.
that part right.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yeah, because I was like, who the hell's going to book a gig in the Virginias and then take us all the way down to the coastline? We did end up on the coast. It was just maybe...
A little further north. Closer to Virginia.
Yeah, so it's from the Virginias to Outer Banks. Yeah, that was my dad's ex, like, lady.
Yeah, it was Silver Dollar Lounge.
Yeah, the place was rad.
Wasn't that the name of it?
Yeah, because remember I woke up hungover, and then I walked out to, like, the porch, and there was, like, 10 kite surfers out on the point just ripping it up, heading off to wherever the hell 10 kite surfers would go on a Saturday morning.
If you're a kite surfer, email thebarstar@gmail.com. thebarstarpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know.
I've been wanting to do that, man. First
Kite
of all, well, you need a kite surf rig first, and they're like $2,000. And chances are I'll buy another guitar for $2,000.
Well, yeah, there is that.
I don't know. If I do continue to talk about it, I will do it. The only thing is, I'm in the middle of the state here, so I have to go to the lake, and I don't know if there's enough wind.
No, I'm going to say no.
I'll just buy a kite.
You should buy a kite and put your face on it.
Yeah.
And then you can fly that around town.
Who could make one of those, like Newegg or something, or like
Probably.
WordPress? I need a kite with my face on it.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to manufacture this for me.
And I'm talking like a hang glider sized kite.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be huge. Huge.
Yeah.
Got to be huge. So, anyway, you think it was Sweetwater? That was the name of the
I
band?
think so. Yeah.
Now, in my brain, I remember, and you correct me if I'm wrong, relying on your memory is going to suck too.
Well, that's debatable.
That is debatable. I remember walking, we set up, did sound check, we went to get some food or whatever, and we came back. You couldn't, where we were, you had to get to the stage from behind. And you couldn't see the front. You couldn't see the lawn or anything. And I remember walking out and freezing because there was so many fucking people there. And Gabe had to push me.
Really?
Yeah. And I remember sitting down and grabbing my sticks and fucking up the first song.
You did?
In my brain, I did. I could be wrong.
Shame on you.
I know, right? I recovered quickly.
I didn't notice.
That's all that matters, kids.
Tell you what, I don't remember.
just say you didn't notice. But I remember there being like 8,000 people there.
It was a good.
Does that
good
sound
show.
right to you?
Sounds about right. That was a big amphitheater. That was a rad time.
Oh, it was awesome.
I do fully recall being so primed up. I had like my Les Paul, like a really badass Fender Twin.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just being a tone geek at that point in time.
Oh, you always sounded good.
And just like, I always got pumped when I saw huge crowds like that. Like,
Oh, I did
all right,
too.
let's go and do it. I'm proud of my band. I believe in these dudes. Like, we're about to go out there and crush.
And we did. We crushed it.
Mm-hmm. It seems like we sold and signed a ton of stuff at that one. And then those dudes we met on the other band, it was kind of cool because they all kind of had that like long hair and like mustaches kind of look. Like, hey, dude, you guys are really good, man. We've been on tour for a while. We've seen a lot of bands. You guys are good.
I did. That does kind of ring a bell. I do kind of remember that. Hey, y'all from around here.
And if I had to guess, I mean, hey, man, I'm Charles. What's your name? I'm Gary. Like,
This is my buddy Mike.
yeah, this is Rich over here. And Daryl over on drums. Everyone, they all had a name like.
This is brother Larry. He runs sound.
Yeah. This is our singer, Deacon.
Deacon.
Or something.
I'll go with Deacon. I like it.
Like the one guy in the band who has like the cool name.
And then the rest of them are just Bob's, Bill's, Tom's, and Larry. Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Just another Gary.
I'm Deacon.
Yeah.
So, I don't even remember where the fuck I was going with that story.
You're still
That
on
was
Deacon.
awesome. I'm still on. I totally am on Deacon. I'm like, wait, Deacon.
We can just talk like this for a while
All right, I can do that.
till you remember.
Till I remember. Well, we got in a van and we went down south from Virginia. And we played the Silver Dollar Lounge.
We did. Evidently, there's a huge Oxycontin problem around them parts.
I love you, fucker. But we got to do some really cool shit, and there was a few bands that we opened up for, and I can't remember any of them. Can you?
Well, look, the tables have turned here.
I know, dude. I remember shows, but I don't remember who I played with.
I remember like different things. I don't remember like if you were okay. Do you remember playing with Fishbone?
No, but I remember we opened for Jackal, which was fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was a weird shit. We did it at some festival.
Yep.
I do remember that. I don't remember. Did we open for Fishbone?
Yeah, Fishbone. That would have been easily. They were probably. It was probably one of the last of their like stronger albums before they just started putting out albums.
See, I don't even remember that. And I never did drugs.
Yeah.
I don't drink very often. Hey, honey, I opened for Fishbone.
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool. Really, that's all you're going to give me is the circle? You suck. You got nothing? All right, fine. When did we open for Fishbone? Now I'm curious.
It was in the early 2000s. That's all I got. Elbow Room, probably.
That does sort of ring a bell. I do remember opening for somebody big at the Elbow Room. I also saw a band called From Zero at the Elbow Room.
That's cool.
They're a really good band from Canada.
Did we
Canada.
Did we ever do any of the St. Patty's with you?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. Because I remember there was a few festival type themed shows that we did.
Yeah.
Because, like I said when we started talking, we did so much stuff, but we did it in such a short period of time.
Yeah, we compacted
Because
a lot in.
Because we were pretty much done by 2002.
Yeah, a couple bad decisions business-wise.
Because I left. Actually, I shouldn't even say I left. It's no secret, but Gabe decided he didn't want to do it anymore, so we killed the whole thing, and then I went on to play with Maywater. Because Harry went to be a police officer.
I'll tell you, man, that dude's a superhero now. Not only is he a killer drummer, but he's like a captain or a super captain or whatever your
No shit.
rank turns
So he's
into.
still a cop? Good for him.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's up there, very well respected. And every once in a while, we try to catch up and have some lunch and like talk about community shit and
Good
stuff
for
like
him,
that.
dude.
Yeah,
That's
but
badass.
he's still like, if you hawk his Facebook, man, I think he's still got like a DW kit.
So he is still playing too?
Like a new DW kit. Yeah, he plays like once in a while in like worship for church and stuff like that. And
Nice. I'll have to find him on Facebook.
yeah, for sure.
You have to tell me his last name because I don't remember.
Polis.
That's right.
Yeah.
Polis.
Yeah, that's a legit dude right there.
Yeah, he was the same way. Him and I never had any issues. He wanted to quit because he was going to be a cop, and Greg Rue from Maywater is the one that got a hold of me because we did S-Tribe and Maywater used to play together quite often.
Dude, speaking of Greg Rue, so you know he lives down in the Florida Keys.
Yes, he does.
And he's a phenomenal. I mean, he already was like great sound engineer, but now he's down there like
He runs all kinds of fucking people.
I mean, he's the dude down there.
Yeah, he's killing it.
Yeah. When I go to visit the Keys,
Honey, even though nobody can see you, I don't give a shit. I forgot to tell you, I have a very good friend I was in a band with who's a massive sound engineer down in the Florida Keys.
yeah. So if you guys find yourself down that way, hit him up.
That's one of Stacy's favorite places.
Yeah, he'll take care and
But yeah, he's killing it. I keep up with him. And Scott from Maywater is an optometrist.
yep.
And he's
Still playing bass guitar. Yep.
Well, he went to bass, which was weird.
Yeah.
Because he always, in Maywater, he played acoustic and sang.
Yep.
I didn't know he went to bass. I mean, I've seen pictures of him going to bass.
He's an optometrist now and a bass guitar player.
I don't know. Does he sing at all anymore or is just playing
Optometry
bass?
school changes you.
Does it make you weird?
It makes you see things different.
Don't. Fucking hate you. I walked right into that.
How'd you like that?
No, I didn't like that, but it was funny.
Yeah, I mean he's doing good. He sings harmonies now. He's still got a great voice. Dating a smoking hot nephrologist. It's a kidney doctor.
What is it with all you guys? I leave and you all become doctors. Or at least in the medical field of something, because we're going to get to what you're doing in a second.
All right.
What about Clay? He was a fucking great bass player. Is he even around anymore?
I don't know what the hell. I don't know where Clay is. We might be friends on Facebook.
I can't find him on Facebook.
I don't know.
And Munson from S-Tribe, he's gone too, right?
So Munson is a family man now. I think every once in a while he'll pick up guitar. When I saw Munson last, it was right. It was in fact it was the night of Jansen's funeral, which our former bass player, God rest his soul, lost a battle to his demons. A year or so ago, and he took his own life. And so Corey Munson came into town for the funeral, and then I had him over here to the house for a couple beers just to talk and reminisce and stuff like that.
Right.
And I want to say it's either Charleston or Rock Hill. They're not exactly close to each other.
No.
But he's got a wife and kids.
And he doesn't play anymore?
Not that I know of.
That's crazy.
So the wife. So whether you get the where wrong, it's the what that matters.
That is very true. Did he marry Summer?
No.
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 I figured those two would be together forever.
Nope.
Because they were never, quote, together.
Oh, yeah, sure. I get that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
They were together.
She is a badass. I ran into her recently. I can't remember the exact organization that she's with, but evidently one of these like higher end stores. Damn it all! I don't know if it's like the J. Crew level thing or whatever.
Right.
Evidently, she goes in and handles like all these like pretty incredible displays for these types of things. She's always had an eye for art, and she was she went to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design.
I did not.
So
know
I'm
that.
assuming this is kind of like an answer to that education, like later. But
That's
last
pretty
I knew,
cool.
she's killing it, man. And
Well, she was always super smart.
yeah, super smart, real cool sense of style.
Oh, yeah, because you could spot Summer in a crowd of 1 million people.
Yep.
You go, yep, there she is.
Yep, and how old are we? Somewhere in our upper 30s.
No, you're fucking cute. Fuck you.
I mean, dude, she still looks like
upper 30s.
22, probably. I mean,
What is it with you and your upper 30s? Well, how old are you?
39.
Fuck
I'll be 40 in October.
I've always been older than everybody. Always.
You know why?
Because I was born first.
That's right.
I can do math.
Yeah.
I know how this shit works, fucker. Well, that's awesome. Now, Corey played on the EP, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Because I couldn't remember if he was.
No, just change how you say it. Corey played on the EP. That's right.
No, I don't like that either. Now you're going to figure it out.
Oh, no, I got it.
Because I know you.
Corey played right on the EP.
What if he played behind the EP? See, you got nothing. Because where I was going with that, asking you that question, is the bass line for Solid Stone. That's all Corey.
Wait, whoa. Hold up.
That's why I'm asking you that. Was
Wait,
that
okay,
Corey or was that Jimmy?
It's Jimmy. You know why I know? I'll tell you why I know. Because in the very end, when it goes into that major 7 chord, you know, it's kind of dreamy. It's like the part that's got a completely different feel from the actual song, which is all in minors.
Right.
There is a bass note that Jimmy hits on his bass. He had a really low action with his strings on the bass, and it almost sounds like a low like sitar. And you hear this boom, 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 the boom. So listen to this long note, and that's the bass guitar string almost over vibrating, and it has this really cool sitar type sound. And I remember distinctively that coming from his bass that he played. But
So Jimmy's the one that played.
He's the one
EP.
that played it, yeah. But Corey, like initially,
it was Corey's part.
Yeah.
Okay. I could never remember. And on one of my shows, I was talking to somebody about the intro tune, Solid Stone, and Corey playing bass on it. And then I was like, "Fuck! I think I'm wrong. I don't know. I can't remember now. I have no idea." What are you doing?
We're about to send a selfie right quick.
To who?
To Shannon. She's at a brunch.
Mm.
All right. Oh yeah, there it is. All right.
That was weird. Random.
Well, you know, I was bragging about you
earlier
at alcohol breakfast.
Alcohol breakfast.
Yeah.
Is that a Columbia thing or is that a Charles thing?
It's just kind of a couple friends getting together and
That's a Charles thing.
I guess so. So we had I had shrimp and grits, a couple White Russians, and a mimosa.
Damn.
Yeah. I mean, it's Saturday, dude. It's been a long week. If you saw the stuff that I saw, you'd be looking forward to, you know, your breakfast of
champions.
Yeah, sub champions.
Sub champions.
Yeah.
She's nodding her head because I don't even know if I've told you this. She is a 911 operator.
What's your emergency?
And before that,
do you ever say that, like if she's getting like antsy or something, you say,
no, but I should start doing that. That's good.
what's your emergency?
That's fucking fantastic. Woman, what's your emergency? Before that, she was an EMT.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Both, the world needs both to be at like exceptional level.
Well, that's why my wife's a better human being than I will ever be. I'm tattooed white trash.
I'm not going to dispute that.
See? Told you. Although when he knew me back when, I didn't have any.
No, not a one.
It's weird.
I only have this one.
When'd you get that?
I got this in Dublin, Ireland a couple months ago.
No shit.
Treated myself to a cool vacation with my lady. We went to Dublin, caught the Rolling Stones.
Get the fuck out of here, really?
Yeah, man. Then the next day, I was like, I need a souvenir. So I spent like 6 hours in a session getting this. The guy was phenomenal. Stefan at Skin City Tattoos in Dublin.
It's good work, for sure.
That's my plug. My official plug here. So
nice.
Skin City Dublin, Stefan. I'll look up his hashtag if we take a break or something. Push that. Pop it in later.
Yeah, I'll totally pop that in later.
Yeah, this dude's work is phenomenal, dude. Like, in fact, I almost feel like for me to like get the same freaking quality done, I got to go back to Dublin.
Oh darn.
Woe was you.
We were in Charleston and Savannah yesterday, and we were walking around downtown, and there's a tattoo shop there called the Butcher Shop.
Oh boy.
I had to go get my picture made under the sign. That's fucking awesome.
I hope that's not indicative of the work.
Oh no, the work I saw on the wall was really good. It was really good. I just thought it was cool because it's called the Butcher Shop. So, what do you do now, sir? I know you're still playing. I know you're still gigging, and you still have a duo with Gabe.
All right, so professionally, I'm what they call a cardiovascular sonographer.
Translation: smart guy.
All right, so that would be varying degrees of ultrasounds of the heart. So when you do an ultrasound of the heart, like an echocardiogram, you're looking at the structure and function of the heart, and that's to determine a multitude of different things for a cardiologist.
Right.
And then another type of exam you can do for the heart, transesophageal echocardiogram. You got to shove a long black probe down the back of somebody's throat after you knock them out. Sounds like a shitty Friday night in Columbia, South Carolina, at a 4 a.m. bar. Come
here, I got something for you.
Yeah, you're about to deep throat Black Mamba. Here, have some propofol, because we knock them out on propofol. And then just shove that bad boy down there after we numb up the back of the throat. Oh man, I hear all the sounds.
That gives a new meaning to stroke shing, doesn't it, honey?
So, yeah. Anyway, so if it's got blood in it, I'm going to find a blockage or not. If it's got valves on it, we're going to find, calcification. Anyway, I don't want to bore you with all that shit.
Well, the only reason I bring it up is because you, like Harry, got smart and said, I'm really good at this music thing, but I need a job.
Well, man, I was never delusional in the whole, oh man, I'm going to make it, dude. I'm just going to put everything into it. It's just,
no, I don't think either one of us were.
I just wanted to, I wanted to ride out 20 or so years of doing it my way, just kind of do whatever I wanted to do with the youthful side of me. Just so that I had my story to tell. Nobody told me how to do it or what to do or what standard to live at, societal norms, nothing, man. I did it my way with a fucking guitar. And once I decided I wanted to, have a steady, solid, making career level money and a different type of respect. I felt like I topped out on what I was going to earn in musical respect around the, tri-regional area over here.
Right.
And I was like, all right, let's try something else. Number one, I wanted something that was bigger than me. And of course, other people's, heart issues and things like that are far bigger than, my selfish life that I've ever lived, And so there was that. It was challenging. The catalyst was, some, heart things that my mom and dad both, they're both in great health now. But I mean, that was kind of the catalyst. So between the really, really, really cool technology and the pathology combined, I found myself really, really fascinated, went into it. And so now I'm happy because now I get to continue my own personality interacting with the patients and even the cardiologist. I don't have to change much about me. All that matters is that when I'm in there from start to finish, that I know my shit down pat.
Right.
And so that's what they get,
Well, no, that's a cool thing because you have found something else besides music that you can sink your teeth into and be passionate about and make money from.
Totally. And I still teach. I mean, I got my select couple students. I keep a pretty limited schedule. And then I teach, I have my gigs too. A couple duos, money makers, playing, some taverns here and there. And then I got an original band, the Black Iron Gathering. It's
which I told you when you first told me about that band. That's a fucking great name.
Yeah, real cool name.
I love that name.
It's got a kind of a Dropkick Murphys, Flogging Molly meets John Prine meets Chris Christopherson, singer-songwriter kind of thing. But, to a cool Celtic punk vibe or whatever.
Nice.
Instrumentals, really cool. 4-part harmonies, a lot of fast, almost chicken picking. I'm playing Fender Telecasters on that. And, very bluegrass, punk, and country kind of.
So basically what you're getting at is, unlike the rest of us fuckers, you got it figured out.
I wouldn't say I've got it figured out. I would say I'm enjoying the way figuring out seems to be going.
Yeah, whatever. You got it figured out.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
I'm happy with where, when I roll into 48 in October, I'm happy with what I've been able to,
That's because you're a fucking badass.
Well, I mean, no.
Your name's Charles Funk the Third.
The fourth, actually.
Oh, you're the fourth? Damn
the
it.
fourth.
I thought you were going to be impressed. I remembered it was the something.
I'm only marginally impressed.
Oh, shit. That's it. Show's over. I quit.
You did just fine.
Are you? Is it the fourth?
I'm the fourth, yeah.
Okay. Why did I think it was the third?
Because you were one number off. That's why.
I fucking hate you. It's the greatest answer ever. I can't math.
Well, you know, remains to be seen. We'll see how that goes.
Ooh. For those of you that didn't hear, Stacy just told Charles that he has to have the fifth, so no pressure.
You know, there's a whole homeostatic balance that has to go with all that. We'll cross that bridge another time.
You'll deal with that later.
Yeah, let's talk about the motorcycle I'm gonna get soon, and you know, my like adult car that I want to get. I love my truck, you know, but anyway,
You still have the GTO?
still got the GTO.
You still have it?
1968 GTO, still have it.
Nice.
It's still every bit as beautiful as it ever was.
Where is it?
Over at Dad's. You know why? Because he bought it in 1968 off the showroom floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, remember the movie Friday?
Yeah.
You know, and like Debo steals the bike.
Mm-hmm.
Except it's not actually my bike. It's just Dad's car. It's like it's your car, son, but it just stays at my house.
Right.
But you can tell people it's your car because it kind of is your car. It's going to be your car. You've done all the work on it. It's just going to stay at my house.
Until the day comes.
Okay, Dad.
Okay, Pop. Gotcha. My dad's still got all his cars, but he won't give me any of them.
Yeah. Until the day or what?
I don't even know. Probably the day. He'll probably give them out to my oldest brother.
Right.
He'll give me a key to one and go, this was when I had about 20 years ago. It's gone.
Oh, we got to take that guy on.
Who, my oldest brother?
Yeah, or just find a...
Nah, I actually like that one. We could do the other one. Because I have a
Alright.
brother that lives here.
Right.
Remember?
No.
I haven't talked to him since 2000. I was going to say 99, but
I don't know if you've ever talked about him.
There's a reason.
Yeah.
But he lives here. Probably not far from you. Actually, no, I think he lives in Forest Acres.
Okay.
Isn't that what that area is called? Forest Acres?
Yeah, is he chintzy like those people?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
There's a reason I don't talk to him.
Yeah. Well,
That's all I got. All right, so you've listened to the show enough. So we're going to move on to social media issues.
all right.
All right, so what do you got for me for social media issues?
So-
What bugs you? What do you like? What you hate? All that shit.
I'll tell you what bugs me.
Oh, he's sitting up. We're fucked.
All right. People as a whole on this whole social media thing gotta be just the most weak-minded fucking group of ants I've ever seen. You know, like, I mean, here's the thing. You know, I got a pedestal for sure. You know what I mean?
We all doing what we do. We all do.
And you know, and you can check me on what I'm saying on my pedestal here. But the thing is, if you were to go through the history of my timeline, it's like cars, cats, you know, regular shit. I'm not like, you know, letting. I'm not, you know, having shots fired at like a group of people that
Right.
are like, you know, collectively hostage in a, you know, in my like news feed that I can like sit there and insult like as a group or whatever. And man, there's just so many people that just, it's like these people just they use this thing just to like try to insult a whole entire group of people that they know in their community or whatever because number one, they don't have the balls to walk right up to someone's face and be like, "Oh, you're a Democrat? Well, fuck you," or vice versa. "Oh, you're a Republican? Well, fuck you and what you think about." You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead, it's like this entire. I'm just gonna like blanket statement, this, that, or the other, no matter how balanced you are in your thing. Obviously, this kind of political leaning, you know, because I mean, it seems like you can't turn anywhere without a political thing. You know,
Right.
I would kill
it does.
to have my news feed back to like, you know, bikinis and alcohol or whatever it used to be, because people complained food and bikinis right out of the news feed. You know what we have now? Garbage mouth. politics and racism and religion and all that stuff. Way to go. You guys fucked that up. Thanks a lot. I would have completely watched somebody's Eggs fucking Benedict and like, freaking, Lake Murray boat full of hoochies, this is what we did over the weekend. This is the eggs I cook. Instead, it's like, I'm going to say something that makes you wonder if I'm racist or not. I'm going to say something that like takes a shit on your political stance or not.
Right.
And it's like, man, you guys really, 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 really fucked this up. I think the only thing, if I had something to say, man, it'd be like, take your social media, and of course, you got freedom of speech. I get that.
No, I get it
that.
too. I get it
social
too.
media, you got your damn freedom of speech.
You can do whatever you want. Yeah.
Gagging on the cock of fucking freedom of speech. I get it. However, take all that and go fuck yourself. If you don't have anything nice to say, man, I mean, Jesus Christ. Walk up to somebody and just actually tell them instead of trying to.
Oh no, that'll never fucking
blanket
happen.
statement behind your keyboard.
That'll never happen. Keyboard warriors don't have spines. That shit'll never happen. God, you know better than that.
Of course.
You know better than that. I've said it on a few episodes, and I'm gonna pull the trigger soon. I think social media issues on my show is gonna go bye-bye. Because everybody pretty much says the same thing.
Yeah.
And I've said this every episode. Technology is the greatest, worst thing ever invented.
Yeah, I mean...
You can do so much good with it, yet everybody does so much shit with it.
Oh, man. Yeah, for sure.
It's ridiculous. I just don't fucking get it.
It has definitely uncovered every adult's absolute little bitch side of themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Man.
See, this is a prime example of why it's super, super cool. You live in Columbia, South Carolina. I live in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, obviously, we have each other's phone numbers and shit, but we can still keep up with what each other's doing.
Yep.
Without having to text, what are you doing? Oh, shit popped up. Hey, look what O'Reilly's doing. Hey, look what Charles is doing.
Right.
That shit's cool, but people don't even, that's not enough for them anymore.
No.
Now they got to try to make shit a bigger issue of whatever the issue is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It annoys the shit out of me. So let's move on. You want to move on? I want to move on.
Let's unplug the internet. That's not actually going to be helpful for your podcast.
That is true, but you know what? I have it recorded, so I don't give a shit. Can we I know, we'll unplug it after I post this.
Yeah, we'll let it air for a while. Because
Yeah.
it just dawned on me, like, you would have to actually, like... How would anyone actually hear the podcast unless you rent a room, invite people to come sit in a chair?
Motherfucker, we couldn't get people to come listen to records in rooms or bands in rooms. They ain't coming to listen to podcasts.
Actually, sadly, I think podcast night would bring so many like pseudo-intellectual shitheads in, actually, I'm going to podcast night,
Down at Art Bar.
Yeah, it's actually a podcast in PBR Bingo, so,
Wait, we should start that. You start one here, I'll start one at home.
podcast in PBR.
Podcast night with PBR Bingo. I don't know what the fuck PBR Bingo is, but it sounds awesomely shitty.
I think you just use like the bottle cap.
From PBR?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was every time you got bingo, you had to drink a 6-pack of PBR or something.
It's whatever you want it to be.
PBR Bingo. I like it.
Whatever your dreams.
What are your dreams of PBR Bingo?
I don't know. I actually said it thinking to myself, what the fuck did I just say?
All right, so let's move on to stories from the stage.
Stories from the stage. Likewise, man.
This is the lamest high five ever.
It was. He gave you salmon fingers.
He did give me salmon fingers. All right, so stories from the stage. What do you got? And they do not have to include me.
Well, we already covered the...
I mean, unless you want to, because I'm fucking awesome, but...
The broken curtain.
Yeah, that was fun.
Man, I wish I could remember if there were any, like, band member fights. Those were always classic.
The only thing I ever remember when we were in a band together, as far as I am concerned, I had arguments with everybody, but it never really I can't fucking talk today. Escalated into anything massive. We would just have petty arguments over dumb shit, yell at each other, walk away for 5 minutes, and it was fine.
On stage?
No. Never happened on stage. Usually at rehearsal or
Right.
after a show.
Right.
How about this? before we do stories from the stage, or before you give me your story, it's just popped in my head. How about when we were in Tucker's garage and I was practicing the fireballs?
Oh, yeah.
And you fuckers told me I was nuts.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, I used to have two 18-inch floor toms that I didn't play. I set them up to the side, and I figured out how to pour alcohol, figured out exactly how much I needed, and I would light them, and I would hit them, and they would shoot fireballs off of the drums.
that was some Tommy Lee shit right there.
Uh-huh. But live, you and Jimmy had to light the drums for me. You had to pour it and light it for me.
Yeah.
Because Gabe was insistent every night I did a fucking drum solo, and I hated it. So my fireballs was the answer to making me at least like doing the drum solo.
Yeah, you get to blow something up for a second.
Yeah, I get to blow something up for a second.
Yeah.
That was cool as shit. And then Great White burned down the bar in Rhode Island, and I couldn't do it anymore.
That's true. That went terribly bad.
Yes, it did. So anyway, back to you. Sorry.
Trying to think, man. There were different times, like, I remember getting away with, like, being able to, like, smoke herb on stage. The Great Curtain Fiasco was definitely one. I used to enjoy watching a multitude of drummers look at me and kind of go, damn this guy. Not towards me, but, like, anytime Gabe would hear an error, the cardinal rule about turning around and looking at the drummer when an error happened was broken every single time.
Oh, yeah, he was brutal about that.
And he would turn around and look, and then the drummers would look at me and go, well, fuck that guy. God damn it. I'm like, just play, man. Just play. It's cool. Just play. Hey, everybody, how's it going? You know.
I forgot about that. I got a few death stares from him.
You know.
I forgot all about that. He did break that rule a lot.
Quite a bit.
It annoyed the shit out of him.
That's every bit the same as a guitar player tweaker, like turning around and adjusting his amp, like with his back to the crowd and like mid song, you know.
Oh yeah,
that's the shit you never see me do, dog.
No, you did the hippie chicken neck with your pretty hair.
I look at videos back then and think, man, I look dumb as hell.
No, you didn't.
I don't like. What was I trying to have my head cut off? Like, why I stuck my neck way out, like doing like
the hippie chicken neck.
Yeah, dude. Like
it worked. I think you did it because you never wanted your hair to fall on your face.
I don't recall being that strategic about it.
It could have been
but I remember seeing a video, and it just reminds me of like Shaggy from Scooby Doo with his long ass neck sticking out. I'm like, damn, man. Of all different ways, and I was like, man, look at your posture. You're all fucked up here, man.
You're just all fucking weird.
Yeah, like.
So nothing sticks out to you that was just enough besides the curtain thing that it was just a train wreck.
Man, stories.
And like I said, it doesn't have to involve me. You've done way more shit before me and after me. You gotta have something that sticks out, and you're like, motherfucker, I can't believe that happened.
I'm drawing a blank, which is not good for being on a show.
But it doesn't matter. Because if you draw a blank, you draw a blank.
If I come up with it later, edit, and then stick it back in this segment.
I will. Just for you, I will do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to what are you listening to? All right, so when I got here today, I'm throwing you under the bus in an awesome way. We were listening to Dropkick Murphys live.
Yes.
On vinyl with your badass system that the majority of it is from the 70s.
Yep.
It sounds so fucking good. They just don't make shit like they used to.
They don't.
Anyway, other than that, what are you listening to? What are you jamming on these days? And it can be a podcast too. It doesn't have to be music, and it doesn't have to be new or old. There's no rules to this section.
So, it's kind of all over the place. And if you look under that table, I mean, there's like several stacks of vinyl.
I was noticing that.
I mean, none of it's like new stuff, but I mean, you got anything in there from like Talking Heads to like Band of Gypsies, Hendrix to Joe Cocker, all on vinyl over there. I listen to a lot of vinyl. I mean, for so many reasons, you know. But then, like, if I'm not in the vinyl realm of things, then I've gotten really into like kind of like things that are outside of rock and roll. And it's more like production quality stuff, like $2 Cinema, this one band called Luthi. They got a great like live sound, like horns, synth, drums,
Nice.
bass. You know, the lead guitar player's killer. I think I'm really, really, really into like deep pocket rhythm sections with kind of like a almost like a retro pop kind of thing that's got, you know, a little bit of like new digital beat in there, you know.
Right. Well, you know I'm a freak for production.
Yeah,
I love
and like I
production.
say, you know, the rock and roll half of me would be like, what the hell? But you know, the like nude nerd
The Nude Nerd.
yeah.
That's a website right there. The Nude Nerd.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean it's kinda like all over the place. It's different, you know.
Well, that's one of the things that I love about this part of the show, and because obviously as musicians we always talk about, hey, have you heard this band? Hey, have you heard that band? Yada yada yada. And it's cool to me to get to hear why people like shit. For example, like what you just said, you're starting to lean more towards the production side of shit. I listen to a lot of stuff just because I dig the production.
Yep.
I don't give a shit about the song itself. And I don't mean that in a derogatory way towards the song or the artist. It's just the production on it is so fucking cool for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Whatever's happening, it's just this sticks out or that sticks out. I'm like, man, I have got to listen to more of that fucking song. Or more of that record because of the production.
Mm-hmm.
The problem I have is I can't remember any producers' names.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm fucking horrible at that. I mean, I can remember a few. James Michael from 6 a.m., who was a producer and a songwriter long before he was in 6 a.m. And if you go back and listen to some of the early shit he produced, you can tell it's his stuff because it's kind of like a precursor to the 6 a.m. stuff.
You know, I think if I was like running Pro Tools all the time or Ableton, you know, like actively like cutting my own tracks or whatever,
Right.
I'd probably be more in tune to producers and their styles and their
Yeah,
names
and who did what,
yeah,
and all
and
that kind of
their
stuff.
credits and stuff like that. Because you know, I'd probably try to, you know, snag a few tips and tricks or something like that.
I'm all about some snagging some shits.
Yeah.
Snagging shits is good. Everybody snags everything. It's
Absolutely.
2018, dude, and there's nobody's original anymore.
Yeah.
You fuckers that think you are, you're not. It's already been done. Sorry to burst your bubble.
Oh yeah.
What are you listening to as far as any podcast and shit? Are you still into that, or you just kind of moved away from that for a while just because of music?
All right, so I do follow your podcast.
That's the Bar Star podcast. You should find it. It's pretty good.
Yes. Man, you know, I'd be lying if I told you I didn't listen to like cardiology podcasts.
I do have a question on cardiology podcast. What are they talking about? Don't say cardiology. I'll punch you.
Okay, so most of the stuff I listen to are like, you know, cardiology based tales from the ER.
Oh,
when somebody comes in
that would be cool.
in like an
actually.
emergency type scenario, and it's not like, you know, a gunshot wound or like
Right.
laceration is strictly, you know, cardiac matter. It could be trauma, you know, and like if you go through say like a car accident and, you know, your chest hits the steering wheel or the dash or something, there's a possibility that one of the many things that could happen, you could have like what they call a dissected aorta or something like that. And so you would want to do some quick bedside imaging to see if that was, you know, a product of the trauma.
Right.
Things like that. And so they'll follow a case up and then they'll go into like the nuts and bolts of it, like what the numbers were when they ran Doppler signals and things like that. You know, I'm really into,
That's pretty cool, though.
yeah, I want to see like what happened, you know, in the emergency, during the procedure to correct or fix, and then post in the follow-up, you know.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's shows about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
She perked up about it. Look at that face.
Yeah. So all that kind
You
of
listen to
stuff.
that shit, but not my show. You're
You
such
know,
a hooker.
heart failure, how that affects the rest of the body, things like that, you know,
Right.
when they're hunting down, you know, or chasing down blood clots, things like that.
That's pretty cool.
But then if
though.
I'm not listening to that, then I'll be straight up, you know, I will listen to vintage murder podcasts, like, you know, on the dark side of like, you know, old unsolved cases in like Hollywood.
like cold cases and shit.
Yeah, definitely.
That's cool.
You know,
I've seen
I
those,
still
but
go
I
to the-
haven't got into those yet.
I still go to the dark side of podcasts, you know. There's
You've always been kind of twisted.
yeah. There's other stuff too, like the paranormal kind of thing.
Right. Do you believe in all that shit?
I haven't seen my own like ghost or anything like that, but I mean, I don't discount it. It's probably just not my time yet to have an encounter. But
Yeah, fair enough. We were talking about it the other day because we're in Charleston, and Charleston is apparently the most haunted city in the South or something to that effect, and there's ghost tours all over the place down there. And I looked at her and I said, "You believe in that shit?" She went, "Nope." I said, "Okay, cool, me neither."
If I saw it, then I would believe in it. But I'm like him, maybe it's just not my time.
yeah, I mean, just
true.
there's so much that's bigger than me and what I could say is
Oh,
real
for
or
sure.
not. So yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just trying to have like respect for the spirit world. Should it exist or should it not? When it becomes my time, to see something crazy like that, then damn sure,
You'll let me know.
yeah.
Sweet.
I'm gonna be haunted tonight.
Probably. I've I've put a hex on us all. You're all hexed.
Yeah.
All right. Before we do this close, we were talking about playing a song from the EP. You got 3 choices:
What all's on it?
Solid Stoned, Yeska Man, and Sweet Mary.
Damn.
Or I can play something from Rise People. Whatever you want. I'm going to be selfish. I want to be on it.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, all right, there would be like my top 2 tracks. From Rise People, that song "Gray is Blue"
Love that song.
was the only song on that album that was recorded in analog on reel to reel.
That's probably one of the reasons why I love it, other
Yeah.
than it's a good damn song.
Yeah, it's also in drop D. The rest of it is in the rest of the album's in like standard tuning.
Funk Nasty was pretty good too.
Yeah, it is. There's a lot of really cool things. It's just it's a 1-4-5. You hear one, you hear them all. I mean, it's a cool song, but it's more or less a funky blues jam that kind of, But
Yeah, but it's all about you.
Gray is Blue has like, it's got lyrics, it's got melody. There's not a guitar solo in it at all.
No,
It's just all
that legitimately is one of my favorite songs.
really
off that
really
record.
well constructed song. Now off of the EP that we cut with you, I mean,
We retracked Yeska Man because we changed it. We shortened it a little bit because Yeska Man was on Rise People.
yeah, man, I really like Solid Stone, and Sweet Mary was good too. Okay, Sweet Mary was cool in the sense that I remember like we dubbed a water bong over the song in the beginning. I think
The end.
in the end,
Yep.
yeah. But like, I think Solid Stone has a vibe to it. Your opening track on
Yep.
the
Which the
podcast.
opening track is, this, nobody else does. It's actually looped
Yep.
because I stretched the whole thing out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll do both of them. I'll
Nice.
put in Gray's Blue,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not playing on, but Larry did a great job. I still listen to that record. I love that record. And then I will put in Solid Stone. The
Nice.
whole thing, which will fuck everybody up when they actually listen to it, and then they go back and listen to the opening of the show, and they'll, wait, shit, this is too short. No, it's just a loop. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Those are 2 good choices.
Yeah, I think so, man.
I dig those. I like how you look. You're staring off into space. Where'd you go?
I don't know. I was trying to formulate a thought, and it like
What thought were you trying to formulate?
I don't know. I mean, if I knew, it'd already come out of my mouth, and
Well, fair enough.
instead, it was a blank stare.
It was a long blank stare.
I was hoping that those needle nose pliers were going to help me with the answer.
They did not.
No,
What about the razor blade next to it?
no, just
The beads?
those either.
Damn it.
When you say, so you got some needle nose pliers, a razor blade, and some beads.
Mm-hmm.
What happens at your house on a Saturday afternoon?
Well, we're not gonna explain. We're just gonna leave it there.
Yeah.
Because that's fucking great, dude. Thanks for taking the time.
Man, thanks for having me on.
Shit, anytime. I just
You've had
didn't want
some
to
good
do
ones
it.
on your show.
Well, thank you, but I didn't want to do one on the phone. And when she told me we were going to Charleston for vacation, I said, "Oh, we're going to Columbia for a day. Sorry, love, I love you, but sorry, it's got to happen." She said, "Why?" I said, "Because I gotta go see Charles."
Absolutely.
I said, "Besides that, you got to see where I cut my musical teeth."
Absolutely, man. That's right. What do you? Are you guys gonna stay in town tonight or?
No, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go show her a couple more things, and then we're gonna go back down to Charleston because we are going to the, what is it? The night market.
I guess where they have the bands and stuff playing.
Yeah, apparently the market that's down on Charleston at night now, which I say now because I don't remember it when we used to play down there, but at night now, one side of it, one half of it, around 6:30 or 7, they shut it down. And they have bands and shit there inside the market. It's fucking weird.
Well, they now owe you money for an endorsement.
Yes, there's a lot of motherfuckers that owe me money for an endorsement.
Yeah.
But yeah, we should go down to Charleston and get a paycheck. See, along with Pinterest.
Yeah, we need to hit those guys up.
Yeah, we do need to hit those. We did that shit first. We had a pallet stage.
We did.
Damn it, dude. I love your face.
I love your face.
I'm out.
I'm out too.
Just gain your youth is just a separation.
Well, that's it, kids. That's the show for the week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you dug it. Hope you got something out of it. Charles is an awesome dude. I love him to pieces. Love him to death. He's a good dude. It's interesting that all the stuff that we did in the band S Tribe was only about a 2-year window. That still kind of baffles me a little bit. And I had forgotten, even when I wrote the book, I didn't realize that. I had forgotten about it until I was talking to Charles. Anyway, I hope you dug this episode. I hope you liked the songs. The first song was Gray is Blue with the original band. The second song is Solid Stone with the updated me on drums, Jimmy on bass. And I hope you dug them. It's weird to hear Solid Stoned all the way through because, if most of you know, I don't really listen to myself often. Maybe once a year or something like that, I'll go back and listen to some shit that I've recorded. But the intro music to the show is Solid Stone, but I made a loop out of it. So it's weird to hear the entire song. I haven't heard it in a while. It was interesting. Anyway, I hope you guys dug it. I'm out of here. I don't feel like talking anymore. I gotta go do some other shit. And speaking of other shit, as I say at the end of every episode, go do some shit. GDSS. I should create a hashtag. Hashtag GDSS. I like it. Or maybe not. I don't know. Beat it. Get the fuck out of here. See ya! So until next time, I will talk at you soon.